of my crested geckos. Her name is Yellow. It's the first crested gecko that I ever got. She is fired down right now. Normally she's a bright yellow, but right now you can see she's very drab. So these geckos have a really cool adaptation that they can kind of make their colors more vibrant when necessary. I don't really know what morph she is, so if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Here is her back, so you can see that. Super cute, easily handleable. The thing about them is they easily lose their tails, and it's not honestly a bad thing if they lose their tails. I didn't do anything to her. I just woke up one day and she didn't have a tail, so it's not like a you thing that you cause this tail to pop off or anything. They just happen to do that a lot. They don't store fat in their tails like a lot of geckos do, so that's why it's really not a problem for them to lose their tail. It's not going to grow back either like other geckos. It's just going to stay a nub like that. So when they first lose their tails, what to look out for is they might have a little balance and jumping issues just because now they have to refigure out how to navigate their environment without that weighted balance at the end of their bodies. So now they have to learn to put all their weight towards the front of their bodies. They also might feel kind of just under the weather and not want to eat initially because you're losing a whole body part. So yeah, it's not going to be a nice day. But they're going to be fine right afterwards. And honestly, I like them better because you can handle them without worrying about popping off their tail. So their care is super simple. Basically get one of those like taller front opening reptile cages. We started off in something small and moved our way up. Lots of foliage, some moss, some dirt. Make sure you keep it kind of humid. You don't have to make it like super wet, so you don't need a sprayer or anything. Honestly, if you just spray them once a day, and if you want, you can have a dripper going. That's all you really need. You don't need it super sopping wet or anything. But yeah, lots of places for them to hide. You can get one of those like suction cup things for the side of the top of the tank for their food or water or whatever you're putting in their food bowl. They do like to climb up onto that. So while they honestly don't need UVB, you can always offer them UVB. They don't need a super hot environment, so simple lighting is good. I don't put a lot of lights on mine just because I see them out and it tends to bring them out more because they're nocturnal if it's darker in their enclosure. Feeding them is super simple, so a basic crested gecko powder is all you really need. So I use several different brands. So I use the Pangea brand. I have pretty much every flavor of those, and then I also have the premium gecko powder brand and the Zoo Med gecko powders. Sometimes I mix flavors together for some added fun. I don't know if they care or not, but I think they smell better when you mix them together, so why not? You can also supplement it with crickets and other worms. You can also try actual fruit. And of course dust everything with some calcium powder for them. So what's really cool about crested geckos is while they're super popular in the pet trade right now, and like everyone has them, they actually were thought to be extinct until 1994 when they were rediscovered, and then obviously someone bred them and now they're absolutely crazy in the pet world. If you're looking for a nice easy lizard and you don't have lizard yet, it's a really good one to start with. So if you see her licking her eyes a lot, it's because most geckos don't have eyelids, and so when they lick them, they're keeping them clean. They're keeping their eyes clear of debris, and of course they're keeping them moist because they can't blink and can't put the eye juices back on them. One way to handle them is actually keep them kind of perched just like this. They actually feel safe on a perch. So if you hold them up, they're not gonna, they might try to jump, but they're not gonna be super feisty. When you try to just hold them like you would like a bearded dragon, they don't like that. They don't like to be confined. They'd rather be up in a tree. So if you make your hand like a tree, they tend to be very calm, just like she's being right now. So the texture is a little bit different than other geckos too. They kind of have a velvety, kind of suede-y skin texture, so they're really soft. They're really fun to pet. And then of course their fingers are kind of a little bit Velcro-y. So obviously these are a sticky-footed gecko, so not like the leopard geckos. So they do tend to stick on things, and it's really cool to watch them climb around. So they're New Caledonian geckos. New Caledonia is actually close to Australia. This is my other crested gecko, Tangerine. He is also not fired up. So if you guys have any idea what he is, let me know in the comments. He does have some spots, and he does have his whole tail. He's a little less handled than the other one. So he's a little flighty. You can see him there. That's what their tails look like when they have their tails still. So they use their tails a little bit prehensilely, so that's why when they lose them, they have to kind of figure out how to jump on things again, just because they do use that tail to grab onto things. I feel like she's gonna hop on my face. It's kind of scary. Ew.
Oh, gross.